Hello, Rob Fletcher here at the Arnold Summit at the Arnold Sports Festival, leading off with our QueenBe panel of experts, each having a specific topic and field that they're presenting to you. Today, co-founder Ava Diamond has been empowering people to transform their lives in mind, body, career, and romance. For over 20 years, her Diamond Strategies, coaching for developing the mindset that matters, is now all over the world, including by our U.S. military. Ava Diamond's Mind Strategy is a cornerstone of the QueenBe Midlife Mastery Program. And just cut. QueenBe co-founder Linda Stevens brings her education and experience to the QueenBe program as the master nutritionist for helping women to understand their unique physical needs in midlife. Her education, passion, and experience inform readers through internationally published nutrition articles in several top health and fitness publications. Linda provides nutrition and fitness coaching as the body part of the QueenBe Mind Body Empowerment Program. Queen expert Monica Brandt. Monica is not only a fitness icon, but on a mission herself for empowering women to find their way into fitness. She introduces women to new fitness endeavors and challenges them to discover their physical courage and strength. Monica is an international fitness celebrity, athlete and model, complete health, fitness, and life coach, IFBB Fitness Olympia champion, WBFF two-time world champion, figure champion, and USATF Masters Sprint champion. Queen expert Heather Havenwood is a serial entrepreneur and is regarded as a top authority on digital marketing, sales, coaching, and online publishing business strategies. Heather has been named top 50 must-follow women entrepreneurs for 2017 by the Huffington Post. She is called Chief Sexy Boss from an Amazon bestseller book. How female entrepreneurship is changing the rule book and beating the big boys. She empowers the QueenBe audiences with her professional mastery as she talks about how to sell yourself and your business with confidence. Next up, QueenBe expert Batya Maman, owner of Social Connect, is a national social media guru. She joins the QueenBe team with more than her expertise in how to maximize social media for your professional benefits. However, Batya shares her personal and compelling story of overcoming adversity. As a woman in midlife, she talks about how to go from nothing to all you want in life. QueenBe expert Stacey Battat. Stacy has been an educator or public speaker for almost 20 years. She recently earned a graduate degree specializing in sexuality with additional training in sex therapy and coaching. She helps women ignite their playful spirit, love, and perfect imperfections of their bodies, and embrace their sexual desires. We're going to have a few questions for our QueenBe panel of experts. First up, we have Ava Diamond, founder. You call midlife the second launching. What does that mean?
Well, the second launching is about coming into your own for the second time in your life. The first time that you do, you're in your 20s, emerging adulthood. But we don't have the wisdom and the experience that we do when we're in our late 30s, early 40s. The second launching is a time to use that wisdom to take all of what you know about yourself and the world around you and launch into the next chapter, creating all that you want personally, professionally, physically, and in relationships.
Thank you very much, Ava. I personally know pretty much all of them, and I can tell you they have a wealth of knowledge, information, and extremely passionate about sharing that with you for you to be the best you can be. The Arnold Summit is all about talking about changing lives through education and motivation. Talk about how QueenBe and mindset coaching is central to physical transformation. Is that a question?
Is that a question?
That's a cut.
Is that a question?
That's a cut. We'll cut that out. All right, that's a cut. You want to go through this all through 3 questions each? So
why don't you bounce around?
All right.
I'm glad that I wasn't the only one. Did I ask that?
Okay. Okay, next up.
Sorry.
Linda Stevens, why did you decide to go back for your master's degree in your early 40s?
It all goes back to, I think, learning how to master your midlife. I think, like Ava said before, When we're younger, we feel like we're going to conquer the world, and then things change, and I think our direction changes as we get older. And I decided that I wanted a career change, and what I was doing prior when I was younger was not suitable for what I wanted to do now as a mom. So I decided to go back to school and earn my master's degree in nutrition so that I could work with people to help them learn how to eat right, feel better, be healthy, and live a more, longer, fulfilling life.
Always sharing that passion and continuing to learn.
Exactly.
And always a student. Thank you very much, Linda. Monica Brandt, who I've known for quite some time now, back here at the Arnold Sports Festival. Monica, you have done so much in your time. I know that above all your competition, your awards, I know that it is your passion and your knowledge sharing with other people for them to be inspired to lead this type of lifestyle. What advice or tips would you give to those people now looking to change their life?
It's a big question. I think a lot of it is having to find what drives you, what you're motivated by. I've always been motivated by athletics, and I love the feeling I get from it. But nowadays, as like what you guys are talking about, as we get a little older, I'm really enjoying the learning aspect of it and learning why I like that and how I feel going through it. And then transferring that to other people shows how can I transfer what I'm learning, what I'm doing for myself, and to help and bless other people. Because I think ultimately, if we're blessing other people, then we get blessed in return. So whether it's through fitness or through nutrition or through just spiritual part, whatever we can do to inspire and bless other people, we get that back in return. So I answered the question.
Thank you very much, Monica. Heather, your book title is unique. What does sexy boss mean to you?
So sexy boss means to me, excuse my voice, but sexy boss means to me is that there's two elements of a woman, I think, that they don't really find that until they're about 40. And the first part is owning their feminine woman. And that's that sexiness. It's like that charismatic, loving woman that walks in a room, we know she's confident and that's sexy. And the boss part is owning all areas of your life, physical, mental, spiritual, and relationships. And that's when you add those two together, and that for me is a being. It's a way that women become in their, I think, in their late 30s and 40s and midlife. It's like they step into their own energy of being a sexy boss.
Thank you very much, Heather. It's so awesome having you guys here, and I just can't believe the weekend's just starting. Stacy, how can a woman's sexual mindfulness impact her health and aging?
Well, mindfulness has become a big movement as far as being in our bodies. And often we're doing things, especially as we get older and we've had children, that are very mechanical, especially in the bedroom, but often in our lives. So the idea of becoming more mindful and embodied and noticing how our bodies feel by actually being with what's possible in an exciting new way and finding new joys and expressing them with more adventure and playfulness is a big part of why mindfulness helps our sexuality.
Well, I can't wait to hear all the passionate, compelling, and interesting stories that are going to come to be. Moving on to Batya. Batya, I also know you personally, and your story is amazing. Batya, you have your own personal transformation story of a unique kind. I know you'll be sharing that in your presentation later today, but give us the Cliff Note version. How would you define the power of social media in propelling a person's career?
This is a very long story to answer your question, but a couple of years ago I was running into a situation and I wasn't able to work in America, and I told myself that I have to create myself a business from home, and I decided that social media it is, and it was just 2010 and the opportunity was right there, and I said, okay, let's make money, and I started. It was a decision. It was a very hard decision to make because it was not well to many people at the time. But the one thing that I chose, and I remember very well every time and every morning when I wake up, it was to choose to believe in myself and in my dream and what I was planning to accomplish in the first place, and I stick to it. So
Well,
today.
And as I said, Batya, your story is incredible, and it's a true testament to all of you. I think in life, I think people really need to hear these stories reinforced. They look at you here at the Arnold Sports Festival, the largest and greatest health fitness event in the world, and you're empowering the other people through your own personal challenges and adversity, and basically never give up, never give in. As you know, I always say, fight hard, fight strong, fight to win. Okay, we're going to move on. Ava, can you share your own transformation story as a woman in life?
Sure. I do believe that everybody winds up having an aha moment or two at some point in their lives. And for me, it was when I was 38 and my mother was diagnosed with terminal illness. And I remember the moment when I was lying in my bed and I heard the words that I didn't want to hear about what kind of cancer she had. And it was truly a light bulb experience, an aha moment where I said, I can no longer live the life I was living. I could no longer live in dormancy, parts of myself not being vibrant enough and stunted in some ways. I was 155% mother at that time. And what I did was I dove into reclaiming my physical self, reinventing my professional self, and taking on challenges in new ways that allowed me to expand my entire world and grow through adversity.
Well, that leads me into the next question. What would be one diamond mind strategy you would want every person in our audience to try now to start their journey to optimal wellness?
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in another segment, but the most important thing that I find that propels people into becoming their best selves is realizing their purpose. I ask people to discover what's your why, and then go deeper with that, and develop a healthy marriage. Not everybody knows what a healthy marriage is, but a healthy marriage with your why, which is a devoted and loyal and trusting relationship with why you do everything that you do from the moment you wake up. And it becomes, people create their personal mission statement that becomes their mantra of the day, or their guiding principle for how they make all of their choices throughout the day. Very effective. It worked for me, and I will tell that story later.
Thank you very much, Ava. Linda, how does good nutritional balance keep a woman feeling confident and mentally strong to manage all the daily tasks thrown at her?
When you don't eat right and take care of your body, you don't feel great. You don't feel well. It's hard, I think, when you're not feeling your body properly to have the energy that you need to be able to get up every day, get out of bed, get your kids to school, go to work, all the stresses that we have in our life. And if you don't give your body the proper nutrients that it needs, you're going to run out of steam later in the day, maybe in the morning. People are just grabbing food on the fly, and they're not fueling their bodies properly so that they're energetic and strong and they feel good all day long. And when you do nourish your body properly all day long, your brain is sharp, you feel good, you're energetic, you can take on anything. Any stress that might come your way, you can handle it, you can deal with it. But if you're tired, fatigued, you're not eating well, you're not going to be able to manage things that are coming your way. Little things may stress you out. So your body's a machine, and just like your car, if you drive a Ferrari, you're not going to go to the gas station and put 87 octane in it. You're going to put the best gas in it, you're going to wipe it down probably with a cloth and keep it protected. And people need to do the same things with their bodies. They need to know what they're putting inside, because what you put in is exactly what you're going to get out. So it's really important. And my job, and I meet so many people, they just don't understand it. And what might be something that's simple to some of us up here on the panel, because a lot of us, we all do live the lifestyle, other people don't understand. And it's my job, and I love it. It's the best job in the world to be able to help someone and enlighten them and teach them. And when they start using the practices that I like to use, that I use on myself, and they feel better, it's better than any amount of money that someone can pay me when I can see someone turn themselves around and feel better.
That's awesome, and thank you. Monica, earlier we were talking about motivation in regards to exercise and training. Someone just starting out workouts, what would you advise them to do, looking to peer off into the motivation factor to take the first steps?
The first steps have to be finding something fun to do, which I'm going to be talking about later. That I've done a lot of different things personally, and I like to encourage people to do something that you enjoy. Doesn't have to be what I do. It just has to be what, because a lot of people ask me, well, what do you do? I want to know what you do. I'm like, but I've been doing this for 30-some years now, and so my goals are always bigger and bigger and bigger. And so if I try to tell someone about what I do, then it kind of makes them feel like, well, I don't even know if I can start, because I can't do that. But it's got to be something that they enjoy to do because it's going to get them off the couch, or it's going to help them when they get off work to want to go do it. Be realistic. A lot of times I hear people think, well, I can't work out, I can't do something, 2 hours a day, because I hear sometimes these crazy stories of the girls getting ready for shows and they're doing 2 or 3 hours of cardio a day, and they think that's what they have. I'm like, no. That's not the goal to be in that. We got to be realistic about what's natural and what's sustainable. So being realistic with what the timing of somebody's life is, what they can do, where their physical, if they're starting, like what is their physical opportunity, what can they do? So it's analyzing, and being realistic about their timing, what they enjoy, what their opportunities are in their area. And then I always like to encourage people to step out of your comfort zone a little bit too. And that's why when I host my women's events I've been doing for the last 14 years, I always include things that somebody wouldn't normally do. Because I want them to see there's something, I can actually do more than I think. A lot of people hold themselves back. They feel like, well, I can't do that, but they have never even tried it. They just think in their mind that they can't. So it all starts in the mind, right? And so I like to give people opportunity, and that's when I host my events. I've got a women's retreat right now called Body and Soul, and I have people coming out doing American Ninja Warrior obstacles, which they're like freaked out because they're like, I can't do it, but they come out there and they all try it, and it's amazing how much they actually can do. And it's so rewarding to see women that, get inspired, and they're like, I gotta go home and share this with my other friends and bring more people. So, being realistic, but then also stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit in an environment where it's safe and they can try.
You have so many accomplishments. What is your, and of course, the life application as well. What do you consider your greatest accomplishment or achievement?
I don't want to cry. You're gonna make me cry. I'm a very sensitive person about things that are important. All of the fitness stuff that I've been doing since 1991. I started competing in fitness back then. There's a lot of wonderful people I've met throughout the time. And there's so many opportunities, like you said, when you help people master their nutrition or their fitness goals or anything that they've been able to help somebody master or at least start, it's so rewarding. But right now, what all of this has led me to is really unique situation that I've been able to sponsor a young girl with a Christian private school education. And she came into my life because I saw a need in one of the ladies that was cleaning my house a couple of years ago. She was very unhealthy, and I helped her with a free health challenge for 90 days. She lost 40 pounds. She started bringing her niece around, who has become my goddaughter, and she now lives with me part-time, and it's I've been able to, with God's grace, been able to help her family with some new things and new ideas and a whole new lifestyle, and I'm involving her into athletics and teaching her about healthy eating and drinking water. Just is remarkable. And I've never been able to have children myself. I've always wanted them, but God hasn't supplied me with a child. So I am getting to enjoy this young girl. I met her when she's 11, she's 14 now, and she's a huge part of my life. So now I'm having an understanding of what it's like to be a single mom, because my husband travels a lot, so I'm by myself doing a lot of stuff and keeping up my work. But so it's given me a new opportunity to bless someone else's life at a young age where it's so important. But I feel like everything that I've done, because I have the lifestyle and the job that I have and the career that I've been able to accomplish, I can work from home, I can work with her, I can teach her and her family new things. But it all became because I was caring about someone's health. I had no idea that she would bring her niece into my life, and this would be such a unique opportunity for me. So it's just, I think that's my biggest accomplishment.
That is great to hear, especially with your background, and what's very interesting, as with all of you, when I ask that question, typically with the real great ones, they always respond with what they give back. So thank you, Monica. Heather, I see you have a huge success story of starting a business and going fast to 1 million, and then falling into a bankruptcy. What happened, and what is your biggest life lesson that others can put into action today to prevent failure?
So there's a couple things there. It's getting just off my voice. But It was back in 2005 and 6. I built a business from $0 to $1 million, and it went very well. And then I came home one day from an event, and everything was gone. Business partner took everything, merchant accounts, bank accounts were empty. And it spun me into financial disaster. I lost my house within 6 months and went into bankruptcy, and I lived in my car with my dog, and my only bill was my cell phone for about 2 or 3 years. And it really threw me emotionally and physically and also spiritually, because I had this idea that I would never fail. And I realized in the middle of that, a friend of mine said to me, I want you to write this down. And I was crying in the middle of the conversation. And I said, okay. And he said, I, Heather, give myself full permission to fail. And I could barely write it. And I realized, he said to me, Heather, you can never succeed in life if you don't give yourself full permission to fail. It's only then can you give yourself full permission to succeed. And I realized that at a very young age, we as a society were told, don't fail first grade, can't go to second. Don't fail second, can't go to third, on and on and on. Can't fail, can't fail, can't fail. And I realized that in that moment I thought, okay, if I could fail, then what could I do? So now whenever I take on any project, and now I have 4 online businesses, I live in Austin, Texas, and just a phenomenal brand new life. And that's because I gave myself permission to say, I'm gonna go create something and try something, and it doesn't matter if I succeed or not. It's in the trying and going after it that you succeed. And so with my book, Sexy Boss, it's about my story of going from, what I call major success to major failure, back to real success. And real success is, owning who you are and knowing that you can create anything, and if it goes great or not, it's okay. Either way.
Incredible information. It's so valuable. Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome.
What do you think the #1 skill set every woman in business should learn in today's world?
Sorry. The #1 skills I think all women should learn, and it's the same kind of, it's the license to understanding that it's okay to give yourself full permission to fail. But let me give you a quote. And the quote is, it's a quote that was given to me at the exact same time, and the person said to me, by the way, this quote was given to me, I went to go to have dinner with this friend. Thank God he paid for dinner because I was broke. And he gave me $20 to get back home because I was broke. And he said to me, I want you to start asking yourself this question before you do anything. And the question was, does this feed your confusion or strengthen your clarity? And he goes, I go, well, what do I start with? He goes, anything. The food you eat. Eat the chocolate cake because that feeds your confusion, strengthen your clarity. I mean, just starting with the simplest stuff. And so even being here at QueenBe, I had to ask myself that question. Does it feed my confusion or does it strengthen my clarity? And as long as it strengthens my clarity and helps others, then I'm going to move forward on the project or whatever it is. So that's the advice I'd say to all women, no matter what age, is giving yourself full permission to fail, gives yourself permission to succeed, and making sure you're adding clarity to yourself.
And this is in your book, Sexy Boss.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Heather. Stacy, why is your motto of playfulness important for good relationships?
So many of us, especially women in midlife, get so caught up in the mothering aspect of life in any way. If you have children or otherwise, taking care of others is a big part of what women do, and we don't always take care of ourselves. So I help people, other than just regular self-care and meditation and physical fitness and nutrition, to kind of consider, what is it that makes me feel excited and pleasurable again? Get back to my original desires, the sensations that I was exposed to that first brought me alive. And how do those pleasures, how does accepting that with compassion and not with having to achieve something today allow me to have fun more and just relax with what is in the moment? So I really coach women to find their authentic power and their authentic playfulness and figure out ways to just explore that with awkwardness, with falling, with messiness, and not getting so uptight about it. Because when we do that with our kids, we'll play with them in the sand or in the snow or on the playground, but then we forget about how to do it with ourselves. So playfulness has been a big part of how I see mindfulness, because we bring presence into playfulness the way a child does when we really get back into that.
Well, with all that information, and I think it comes down to the happiness and all giving people the real priorities, the real life priorities. and have playfulness, like you said. I think we all, get so caught up with the pressures of society and the things, careers, relationships, doing this, doing that, but instead stepping back. But Stacy, thank you very much. Let's, one more question. What are some ways women can embrace their bodies and have fun with their sensuality?
One way they can start is just by really remembering what are the things that gave them pleasure originally when they were young. And just the sensations, whether they like to explore their senses again and to try to get back into their bodies in a way that is not judgmental. So mindfulness is about not judging yourself. So even getting naked with yourself and finding one thing they love about themselves every day. And just really looking at themselves and laughing about it and not getting so uptight about everything having to be perfect, because life is not going to be perfect. So the idea that they really just look at themselves in a new way, put on candlelight, put on music, move yourself in a new way. Try to experience what that feels like in your sensations, in your body, so that you can awaken that sense of playfulness and fun again.
I'm sold. I'm doing that. I'm sold. Sounds good to me. Candles. You guys are great. This is QueenBe. Begin, believe, become. Batya, how would you define the power of social media in propelling a person's career? Oh, we did that earlier? Is that the same question we did earlier?
Well, it's kind of.
Did you just have one question for Batya? Did you answer that? Okay.
I can answer a different one.
Well,
I can give you another one.
all right. Well, all right. How would you define the power of social media in propelling a person's career?
That's actually very simple. A lot of people come to me and said, I want to be successful in social media. I want to make a lot of money in social media. I want to grow the business. And when people come to me first, I help them to find out what they really wanted to achieve, not how they wanted to grow the business. Because a lot of people come here with all those kind of ideas, what they want to achieve, and what they want doesn't align with what the business needs and want. People, let me give you an example. I have a lot of dentist clients, and they come to me and said, I want to be on social media. And I said, why do you want to be on social media? What is it there for you? And they said, oh, because everybody is there. And I said, well, if I was you, I would not take that as an option to be on social media because everybody is there. What is in there for you? What you're looking for? And he doesn't know. And I said, well, here's the answer. You're a dentist, and what you're looking for is a new patient. So when you know what you're looking for in social media, it's just like go fishing. You know where to go. You cannot go and fish and expect fish to come in the water where there is no fish. So I teach them where to go fishing online. And basically what I figure in social media that work the most is most people do random things and they expect to have a real result. And they don't understand that social media is all about you and it's all about consistency. I help them to find their own happiness, first of all, by knowing where they live, what they're willing to give to the community, and what they're willing to do to have others have an interest in them in social media. Because people just, I want new patients, I want new clients, I want people to buy my program. Okay, what you willing to do? Or who you willing to become, to be the person that attracts these people in. And basically, I create a seminar for people that shows how can you do well in your community, how to do well by doing good. Giving back to the community is one of the most attractive things that you can bring to your business. And in the very first 3 years of my business, for 3 years, I just gave back. And 5 years ago, I was making $35,000 a year. And this year, my company made $500,000. And it was very simple. I go right to where I want it. I don't even have people who cannot afford me reaching out to me anymore. Because I know how to define my clients. I know where they're sit. I know where to look for. And if you want to have a successful social media company or a social media business or any type of business, you need to know where your audience and your customers are sitting. And it's all start from you know what you're looking for in the first place, because 100% of the people that come to me in the first place don't know what they really want. They just know they want to grow. And that is such a general thing. So what do you know about yourself? What do you want to achieve? What's your purpose? What's the purpose of your business? what's your purpose of you reaching out to me? And the very last thing that I would add is, if you're not involved in your own business, in your social media, and expect to hire a social media manager to manage your social media will look like just like you have a manager. There is no business, there is no owner. There is just a manager. And it's a lot of work, it's a lot of a commitment, and it needs to be a lot of alignment between the things that you want and the things that you're willing to do to get the result that you're looking for.
Thank you very much, Batya. Well, that is it. They will be back later on today. As I said, I'm Rob Fletcher. We are here at the Arnold Sports Festival, launching the Arnold Summit Education and Motivation with QueenBe. Thank you very much, founders Ava Diamond, Linda Stevens, and of course, QueenBe panel of experts, Monica Brandt, Heather Havenwood, Batya Maman, and Stacey Battat. Rob Fletcher, stay tuned. We'll be back. QueenBe, believe in yourself.